We are gonna graph the linear equation using the x and y intercepts. I want to start by finding the x-intercept. So I'm gonna write the x-intercept. And if I'm gonna find the x-intercept, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start by letting y equals to 0. Okay. So I'm gonna start with this. And what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna do the substitution into that equation. So I'm gonna start by writing 2 times x, that's what it means, then plus 4 times y, and all of that should be equal to 12. Well, in this case, for y, I'm gonna replace it for 0. And what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna start multiplying. So when you multiply 4 times 0, this is gonna be 0. So it's gonna cancel. That's how we're gonna end up with 2 times x, all of that equals to 12. The next step, 2 is multiplying x. So what I have to do is I have to do the opposite, which is divide by 2 to get rid of it. So divide by 2. And 2 divided by 2, we get 1. 1 times x, that's how we get x equals. And then 12 divided by 2, that's how we get 6. Out of this, we're going to get 1 point. The point is x, which is the answer, 6, and then y is going to be 0. So out of this, we got this point, okay? And now that is the x-intercept. What I want to do next, I want to find the y-intercept. So I'm going to write the y-intercept. And what I'm going to do next, I'm going to start by letting x equals to 0, okay? So if x equals to 0, I'm going to replace that value one more time into the same equation. So I'm going to start by writing 2 times, then I'm going to rewrite plus 4y, all of that equals to 12. Now, replacing the value, x equals 0. And the next step is just going to be multiplying after you do the substitution. So it's going to be 2 times 0. That is going to cancel. And that's how we get 4y, all of that equals to 12. The next step, 4 is multiplying y. To get rid of this number 4, I have to divide. I have to do the opposite. So divided by 4, divided by 4. That's what this line means. It means we're dividing. 4 divided by 4 is going to be 1. 1 times y, you get y equals. On the other side, 12 divided by 4, the answer is 3. And out of this, we get another point. Okay, so x is going to be 0 and y is going to be 3. So you always going to end up with 1 point. For the x-intercept, this is 1 point. For the y-intercept, this is another point. And now what we have to do is plot the points and then connect them with one straight line. Let's start by plotting this point first. So that is positive 3, 0. So that will be the point. And the next one, x is 6. As you can see, it goes up just a little bit by 1 unit. So it should be here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That would be 6. And now the answer should be when we connect this with one straight line like this. And that's how we're gonna finish. That's how you're gonna graph a linear equation using the x and y intercepts. Well, this is one example, but I'm gonna do another one. Maybe 2 more, but let's do another one, okay? So let me start by getting rid of this, And I'm not doing another one because I know sometimes we need more examples. So let me bring this to the side, and then this will be another example. Okay, I'm gonna just bring it here. And what I'm doing right now is I'm gonna just do this other one. This is another example. Or let me change it right here. Let me do this. Okay, it's the same thing, by the way. Now, we're gonna do one more time. We're gonna start by finding either the x or the y-intercept. And I like to start always by finding the x-intercept. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna write the x-intercept. Okay. To find the x-intercept, one more time, we're gonna let the other variable, which is y equals to 0. Remember, you have only two variables. So if you're gonna find the x-intercept, then we're gonna let y equals to 0. That means we're gonna get an answer for x, right? So now, let's start by doing the substitution. So I'm gonna start by rewriting -3 times x, then is plus 6 times y, and all of that equals to 12. Well, in this case, as you can see, I'm going to replace the value. Instead of writing y, use the value, it's going to be 0. Okay? And then we're just going to be multiplying. That's what this means, right? Parentheses means that you always going to be multiplying. 6 times 0 is going to be 0. So that cancels. That's how we're going to end up with -3 times x. All of that equals to 12. Okay. I know sometimes we say -3x, but it means -3x. And now to get rid of this -3, we have to do the opposite. The opposite of multiplying is going to be dividing by -3 on this case. Whatever you do to one side of the equal sign, you do it to the other side. So dividing by -3. Now negative divided by a negative turns into +1 times x. That's how we get x equals positive divided by a negative. The answer should be -4. And out of this, we're gonna get 1 point. And like I told you before, you're gonna get an answer for x. On this case, you can see that x equals -4. So that is the x-intercept. And we started by letting y equals to 0. So that's 1 point. Okay. Then after this, you need 2 points. This is only 1 point. The next point is by finding the y-intercept. And like I told you before, you have two variables. If you're gonna find the y-intercept, then the other variable, which is x, has to be equal to 0. Okay. Now, if x equals to 0, what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna replace it into the same equation. So I'm gonna rewrite it this way. I'm gonna write -3 parentheses is gonna be times that I'm gonna write 0, but let me just keep rewriting 6y, all of that equals to 12. And now I'm gonna do the substitution. X equals 0, and you can see all what I did is replace this variable by using 0. The next step, what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna be multiplying -3 times 0, that is gonna cancel it, and then 6y, I'm gonna just bring it down, and all of that should be equal to 12. Then the next step is gonna be getting rid of this number 6, because 6 is multiplying y. To get rid of it, we're gonna be dividing by 6 to make it 1 divided by 6. 6 divided by 6 is gonna be 1. 1 times y, that's how you get y equals 12 divided by 6, you're gonna get 2. Okay, so out of this, one more time, we get 1 point. And as you can see, whenever you find the y-intercept, it means that you're gonna get an answer for y, and x is gonna be 0. So this is the other point. One more thing you have to remember, a point is gonna be always in alphabetical order. First is gonna be the x and then the y coordinate. All right. Now we need to start by plotting these points. And let me use this color. Let's say I have 0, -2, 0, +2, I mean. That would be this point right there. The next one is going to be -4, 0. That will be this point right there. Okay. And now we're just going to connect the 2 points with one straight line. And that's how we finish. All right. That's it for this one.